Hey, my name is Sean. This is going to be the tech description video for Turbo Tibalt. It's a different type of turbo ad nos that features the Nuke Tibalt Cosmic Imposter card from the Kaldheim set that just got spoiled. This is going to be uploaded on Thursday afternoon. There's not going to be a deck gameplay video because the big thing with Tibalt is you gain value by exiling cards from every player's library, and you can't really show that in just playtest hands. But this deck is pretty fast. It aims to get your commander out or cast a ad nauseam effect early, and win from there. So, thank you guys for watching, and hope you enjoy.
Okay, so for this video we have our commander. Well, technically commander, it is basically two different cards. We have Valky and we have Tibalt. They are the same card, and Tibalt is incredible. Even though it has a 7 mana cost, which I would say is pretty expensive and is kind of hard to cast, his 3 abilities are just so good, and even his enter the battlefield trigger. So his ETB creates a emblem that allows you to cast any card exile with Tibalt, and you may spend mana of any color to cast that spell. This is pretty big because normally this would be an effect that you get to cast spells exiled. So even if Tibalt is removed, you still get to continue to cast spells that you exiled with him. And then +2, 4, you get to see 4 new cards. Exile the top card of each player's library, so you get to see your top card, your opponent, and your 3 opponents. So incredible value there. This one's not the greatest, but -3 to exile the target affected creature can be used to remove a combo piece from your opponent's board, or it can be used to steal something like a Dockside Extortionist if you want to cast it to help in a combo. And then his -8 is basically just Yogg's Will plus Lion's Eye Diamond. Exile all cards from all graveyards, so you have to cast all cards from your graveyards. But unlike Yawgmoth Will, the card actually goes to your graveyard when it casts it, because so you cast it with, you exile it, and then you cast it with Tibalt, and it just goes back to your graveyard, so you can use like a Yawgmoth Will or an Underworld Breach later on. And then the 3 mana is like a Lion's Eye Diamond for free. Obviously, you want to be ramping this out on turn 1 or 2. Probably using the +2 and then seeing what you get, and then probably trying to set up for an ad naus. So I'm gonna, we gotta go back. So we're gonna compare this to one of the similar effects, Paco and Halden. Paco and Halden are pretty powerful because you attack with Paco, you exile the top 4 cards of each, or top card of each player's library, and then you can cast those cards with Halden. This is just better, straight up better than Paco and Halden. Obviously, you don't get the teamer colors. I think you might be even in better colors in red-black. But you have this. You don't have to have anything on the board. You just have to activate it once, and you can cast all those spells later. It costs 1 mana less. Doesn't require you to attack. Doesn't require you to have creatures in the battlefield. Just straight up better. And so, what are we going to do with Tibalt when we have him on the battlefield? Most likely just use his +2 repeatedly to set up for a combo, and we're obviously going to be playing a lot of fast mana to play Tibalt, so we're going to be playing our win conditions, which is Peer into the Abyss, Necropotence, and Ad Naus. This is a Turbo Tibalt deck or a Turbo Naus deck, Turbo Necropotence, Turbo Peer, and basically the goal is, if we cast this spell, we should win the game. It's very hard to cast one of these 3 spells and then end up losing the game, unless you take too much damage from it, but if you play it correctly, you should win when you cast one of these spells. So yeah, obviously Ad Naus draws probably 30+ cards, again 30+ cards and 50 cards. So if you can ramp up to 7 to cast your commander, you can also ramp to 7 to cast Peer into the Abyss. You can ramp to 5, you can cast this. Ramp to 3, you can cast this. This gets you the least cards, second most, and the most. And then we have fast mana. There's a lot of fast mana you can play. You can even play Lion's Eye Diamond even more because this is your commander. You're gonna play Lion's Eye Diamond, and you don't really care as much about discarding your hand because you're just gonna get additional 4 cards off the top once you cast your commander. So like that's where the value comes in. Tymna the Weaver, Thrasios. Tymna, you have to attack to gain 3 cards. This, you have to just play it and you get 4 cards. Thrasios, you have to pay 4 mana to see 2 cards. This, you just get to see 4 cards at the top of the library. Jeweled Lotus and Jessica's Will, 2 really good new cards, allow you to speed this out even quicker. It is 2 colors, which is pretty good for a Jeweled Lotus, because if you're out the tap for a land or something else for the other color, You can Jewel Lotus for 3 mana of the color that you didn't just tap for. Same with Lions of Diamond. And then Jessica's Will, of course, allows us to be even faster. You can just cast Jessica or Jessica's Will, add 7 red mana and set yourself up to combo, or set yourself up to cast Tibalt. And then we have Dark Ritual, 1 mana to gain 3. Of course, this is really good. Again, fast mana, ramp, artifacts, and rituals are kind of what you're going to be playing in the majority of your deck, because you want to be able to cast either one of your Ad Naus effects or Tibalt, and then from there you want to be able to basically just cast a bunch of low mana artifacts and rituals to ramp to enough mana to cast your combo pieces. So, and then we have 0 mana creatures to make Infernal Plunge and Coiling the Weak even better. We have like Rogra, we have Crimson Kobolds, we have Memnite, Ornithopter, just cards like that. And the big thing is, once we cast one of these spells, these Ad Naus effects, how do we win? And it's kind of through Praetor's Grasp or Tainted Pact. There's a lot of ways with like Wheel of Fortune and Underworld Breach where we can just basically just dump our entire deck. And then we can either Praetor's Grasp, maybe we want to search for Lab Maniac, cast that, and then draw our final card and win the game. Maybe we want to get to 0 cards in our library or 1 card in our library, cast a Thassa's Oracle, and again win the game off our Praetor's Grasp. And then if we're up to get to 10 mana, we can just tutor for Kiki Jiki and Zealous Conscripts. One of the best red combos, pretty easy, you just create infinite tokens and then you win. So normally, I would do both a gameplay portion and a little bit of gameplay in this deck description. There's only going to be just a little bit in this deck description because I'm trying to get this out quickly. This card was just spoiled yesterday, built the deck last night, and wanted to make this video today. And you really don't get to see his full power until you actually play it out, because you're exiling not just cards from your top of your library, but from your opponents. So that kind of adds to his power level. But still, let's get into a few sample hands for this part of the video. Okay, we're on Mox Fields for our playtest. This deck, we're gonna a lot of times mulligan aggressively because we want to get kind of as many spells as possible. We want to get as fast mana as possible. This is a turn 1 Ad Naus hand, but you don't have any technical colored mana at the moment, so definitely can't keep this. So you gotta, as I said, mulligan aggressively. And this is a pretty good hand. We can guarantee we cast our commander next turn no matter what happens, so I'm definitely going to keep this. Draw for turn 1. Does this Cabal Ritual change what we do? Let's see. Play this. This actually, I think, allows us just to combo off here. Or not combo off, get our commander out, tap. Wait, I don't know why I played 2 lands this turn. So we're going to be playing a land in Spirit Guide. Yeah, I don't think we can get, not enough mana. Yeah, okay. So let's move on to next turn. Draw. Play a land per turn. Go Cabal Ritual into a Spirit Guide plus a Seething Song. So now I have 6 and a black up. We can just cast a Jewel Lotus. Tap for 3 black. And we gotta make sure we spend this for our commander. Turn it over so it's this side. So we had 5 and a black, and now we have 5 and 4 black, so we'll leave up 1 black and 1 red. I held the top cards of each player's library. So this is where you can't really see the full potential, because if we hit anything else, we can just cast that immediately. And we can always Pyroblast something here. We have Deflecting SWAT now online. So this, as I said, this isn't the greatest method. Make sure we add our 2 loyalty counters, because I can't actually show you what's going to be on the opponent's top of their library to show you his full effect. But as you can see, get Tibalt out early. It's going to start to gain a lot of card advantage. Yes, we hit a Demonic Tutor off the top. We can again exile the top card of our library, play it, and yeah. So I don't think there's much more to show for this hand. Obviously, there's going to be 6 other cards that you're going to have access to here. And then next turn you can use the -8, or you can continue using the +2 to gain value. It's also effective against your opponent's tutors if you're able to get it on turns 1 or 2, because when they cast something like a Vampiric Tutor and Lion Tutor, it goes to the top of their library. So you get to exile that card and then make sure that you get it instead of them. That's also another powerful effect, but yeah. we'll move on to the next hand, restart this. Yeah, so let's get to the next hand. I ended up taking a hand before this where I messed up, thought I could win, and then realized I had nowhere near enough mana because I went for the combo way too early. So this hand's alright. You do have access to 5 mana, so this is really a top deck. I don't know. You might want to aggressively mulligan this, but it is an alright hand, but you still might want to aggressively mulligan it. I'm just gonna take the first draw to see what I get, yeah. And it really depends on what you draw there, so I'd aggressively mulligan this, as I said. And this is way better. We have our commander on turn 1. Culling the Weak, such a good card. That's why we play these 1 mana or these 0 mana creatures. So drop her turn 1. Command tower. Rogra into Culling the Weak. And then Jeweled Lotus for 3 red. Turn 1 Tibalt. And we just get to exile the top card of each player's library. And turn 1 and turn 2, as I said, good to kind of exile what they tutored for, which is always really good. And the biggest issue, as I said, well, I'm not going to do gameplay videos. I don't get to see what they would have, the 3 other cards I get access to. But we have Witchclaw Talisman, so hopefully we hit some ramp there, because then we can go Witchclaw Talisman turn 2. And on turn 3, most likely play an Ad Naus. So let's go next turn. Jessica's Will is very good. You can exile the top card. Metalworker. Don't have enough mana to cast it, and we only have 1 artifact. I'm probably just going to go tap. In this game, this is completely different from what actually happened in the game. Because if you hit any 0 mana rock or anything like that, you just go Witchclaw Talisman and then 2 different Ad Naus immediately. So next turn, we draw a Blood Pet, reveal the top card, play this Mountain per turn. And yeah, so I'm going to end that here. If you hit any fast mana off of Tibalt triggers, like any 0 mana cards from your opponents, then you would definitely be able to cast Ad Naus this turn. But, so we'll strip that back, and as I said, this is the reason I'm not doing a gameplay video. And, okay, so if we go, yeah, we can go, depending on what the board state is, really depending on what decks you're playing, you could take this hand, go turn 1 Peat Bog into turn 2 Blood Crypt. As long as you can dockside for 4 mana, you can cast your Treasonous Ogre, and then cast your commander. So it really depends. If you think you're playing like 3 heavy artifact decks, I would definitely keep this. Like, you probably are going to know what you're playing against, but if you're not, I would mulligan this. So we'll keep it anyways. We'll say we're playing some artifact decks that we think we can generate at least 4 mana with Treasonous Ogre. Or 4 mana with dockside. Drop return. It's a Blood Pet. Play this tapped. Drop her. Go to next turn. Jessica's Will is incredibly good. And yeah, this basically just makes it so we don't even... Well, we still have to go for the dock. If we can dockside for 3, we're good. Because then we'll still have 1 black mana floating off the Peat Bog. So if we can dockside for 3, we can Jessica's Will. Add 7. Cast our commander. And as usual, we get our commander out early. This is going to be the last hand. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get to show off any Turbo Naus hands. I have had hands where like Culling the Weak plus 1 other ramp and a 0 mana creature allow me to turn 1 Ad Naus and win on turn 2. Or if you want to go more aggressively, you can always try to win on turn 1, but there is risk of just losing there because you either don't have enough open mana or you don't hit the best cards. But this deck is extremely fast. I'm sad that I don't get to show off its like full strength because you can't actually see what your opponents would have exiled with Tibalt. But still, definitely a worth a deck to check out. Definitely a commander to try out. And I would like to thank you guys all for watching. And hope you enjoyed.